There's a moment in history, barely recorded, that changed everything. Niccolo Machiavelli, advisor to princes, strategist, philosopher of power, walked into a room of men who despised him, men who plotted his ruin, men who saw him as expendable. He did something in 5 seconds that silenced them all. No speech, no negotiation, no begging. What he did was so psychologically precise, so deeply rooted in human nature, that it turned contempt into respect, instantly. Most people waste years trying to earn respect. Machiavelli understood a dark truth. Respect is not earned through virtue. It's seized through perception. If you've ever been dismissed, overlooked, underestimated, this script will teach you exactly what Machiavelli knew and how to command respect in seconds, because the weak beg for it. The powerful create it. Let's talk about the lie they sold you. They told you respect comes from hard work, from being kind, from proving yourself over and over. So you gave, you compromised, you bent, you smiled when insulted, and they still walked over you. Because here's what they don't tell you. People don't respect effort. They respect dominance of frame. Machiavelli lived in Renaissance Florence, a world of brutal politics, backstabbing nobles, exile, and execution. He wasn't born into power. He had no army, no fortune. Yet when he entered rooms, the atmosphere shifted. Why? Because he understood something visceral about human psychology. People respect what they cannot control and fear what they cannot predict. Most people telegraph weakness without realizing it. They enter conversations hoping to be liked. They apologize preemptively. They fill silence with nervous laughter. Machiavelli did the opposite. He created what I call silent dominance. Think about your own life. How many times have you watched someone mediocre command a room, while you, more talented, more intelligent, sat invisible? It's not about skills, it's about presence, and presence is a weapon. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel." People respect the image, not the substance. That's not pessimism, that's strategy. And the moment Machiavelli walked into that room of enemies, he weaponized this truth in 5 seconds. No words, no explanation, just one calculated move that restructured the entire power dynamic. And you can do the same. Let me give you context most historians skip. In 1513, Machiavelli has been tortured, exiled, stripped of power, his career destroyed. The Medici family, who now rule Florence, view him as a threat. He's summoned to a private meeting, not as an advisor, as a suspect. The men in that room wanted him gone. So what does he do? Does he grovel? Does he defend himself? No, he walks in, sits down, and places a single object on the table in front of him. The Prince, his manuscript, unfinished, dangerous, brilliant. He says nothing. He doesn't ask permission to speak. He doesn't beg for mercy. He doesn't explain. He simply places his power in physical form in front of them. The silence that followed was crushing, because at that moment, those men realized this man knows things we need. He didn't submit. He didn't dominate through force. He dominated through indispensability. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." He appeared dangerous, valuable, irreplaceable, and perception in the game of power is reality. This is what most people miss about respect. They think it's about being liked, about consensus. No. Respect is about positioning yourself as a resource they cannot dismiss. Machiavelli didn't need friends. He needed leverage, and leverage doesn't come from begging. It comes from withholding what others desperately want. That's what he did in 5 seconds. He transformed from prisoner to asset, from nobody to necessity. Now let me show you the exact principles behind this move and how you apply them today. Number 1, never enter a room seeking approval. Your energy reveals your position. Most people lose respect before they speak. Their posture, their tone, their need for validation screams, "I need you more than you need me." And once that frame is set, you're finished. Here's the story. I once watched a CFO walk into a boardroom to pitch for a promotion. He smiled too much. He started with, "I'm grateful for this opportunity." He didn't get it. Why? Because gratitude, in a power negotiation, is submission. Compare that to another executive, same company, same stakes. She walked in, no pleasantries, placed a single-page document on the table. She said, "This is what I delivered. This is what I'm worth. Let me know your decision by Friday." She got the promotion. Same room, same people, different frame. Psychologically, humans are wired to defer to certainty. When you seek approval, you signal uncertainty. When you assume your value, you force others to justify their position. Machiavelli understood this instinctively. He didn't walk into that room asking, "Will you accept me?" He walked in communicating, "You need what I know." Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Why? Because fear, like respect, comes from perceived consequence. If they think dismissing you costs them nothing, they will. If they sense you hold something valuable, they hesitate. Practical application. Next time you enter a high-stakes conversation, pause before you speak. Don't smile reflexively. Don't fill silence. Let them break it first. You are not there to please. You are there to transact, change your energy, and you change the game. Number 2, silence is dominance. The person who speaks first loses. Silence makes people uncomfortable, and discomfort is power. Machiavelli said nothing when he placed the prince on that table. He didn't explain it. He didn't justify it. He let it sit. And in that silence, minds raced. What is this? Why is he so calm? What does he know that we don't? That's the psychology of silence. It forces projection. People fill the void with their own insecurities. Here's a real story. A friend of mine, startup founder, was in a funding negotiation. Investors were lowballing him, pressuring him, expecting him to counteroffer immediately. He didn't. He leaned back, said nothing for 30 seconds. The lead investor cracked. "Okay, let's revisit the valuation." Why did that work? Because silence signals you have options. It communicates, "I don't need this as much as you think." And the moment they sense that, the power dynamic flips. Most people fear silence because they fear judgment. So they fill it with nervous chatter, with over-explaining, with validation-seeking. Machiavelli knew whoever needs the conversation less controls it. Psychologically, silence triggers what's called the uncertainty loop. The human brain hates unresolved tension. It rushes to fill gaps. When you stay silent, they do the work for you. Machiavelli wrote, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." Silence is deception. It creates the illusion of depth, of strategy, of hidden knowledge. Practical application. In your next negotiation, pause for 3 seconds before responding. Let the weight sit. Watch how quickly they start justifying, adjusting, softening. You don't need more words. You need more gravity. Number 3, show value, don't explain it. Explanation is a weakness. When Machiavelli placed his manuscript on the table, he didn't say, This is brilliant. He didn't pitch, he didn't plead, he demonstrated, and demonstration is proof. Let me tell you about a copywriter I mentored. Talented, sharp, terrible at selling himself. He'd send prospects long emails explaining his process, his experience, his past results. Crickets. I told him, stop explaining. Send them one rewritten headline from their own website. He did. 3 companies hired him that week. Why? Because showing bypasses skepticism. Explaining invites it. Psychologically, people don't trust what you say about yourself. They trust what you prove without words. Machiavelli didn't tell those men he was valuable. He placed his value, tangible and undeniable, in front of them, and they had to respond to it. Here's the principle. Your value should be self-evident, not argued. When you explain too much, you signal doubt. You invite negotiation. You weaken your frame. Machiavelli wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." People judge you by what you do now, not what you claim you did before. So stop defending your worth. Stop listing credentials. Show it. Practical application. Next time someone questions your value, don't argue. Deliver something undeniable, a solution, a result, a reframe they didn't see coming. Let the work speak. Because when your value is obvious, words become irrelevant. And when words become irrelevant, you become indispensable. I show value. I don't beg for it. Number 4, never reveal your full hand. Mystery is leverage. Machiavelli placed his manuscript on the table, but he didn't read from it. He didn't summarize it. He didn't tell them what it contained. He let them wonder, and wonder is power. Here's why. I once worked with a consultant who was brilliant, but broke. He'd tell clients everything in the first meeting, every insight, every strategy. They'd thank him, then ghost him, because he gave away the outcome before they paid for it. Compare that to another strategist, same industry. He'd give clients one insight in the first meeting, a glimpse of the solution, then stop. There's more, but that's what we'll cover in the engagement. His close rate? 80%. Why? Because incompletion creates urgency. The brain hates unfinished loops. It needs resolution. Machiavelli understood this viscerally by showing the manuscript but not its contents. He created what psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect, the compulsion to complete unfinished tasks. Those men had to know what was inside, and that need gave him control. Machiavelli wrote, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command, but command doesn't mean force. It means creating dependency through scarcity. The moment you reveal everything, they don't need you anymore." Practical application. In negotiations, meetings, pitches, give them just enough to see value, but not enough to replicate it. Offer the problem diagnosis, not the full solution. Show the map, not the treasure. Make them need the second conversation, because the moment they think they have everything, they stop valuing you. Withhold strategically, and they'll follow you anywhere. Number 5, control the frame by controlling the object. Whoever defines the topic wins the conversation. When Machiavelli placed the prince on that table, he didn't respond to their agenda. He created his own. That manuscript became the center of gravity, the thing everyone had to address. He shifted the frame in 5 seconds. Here's a story. A software engineer I know was in a performance review. His manager started with a list of complaints, missed deadlines, communication issues. Instead of defending himself, he pulled out his laptop. "Before we continue, I want to show you something." He opened a dashboard showing 30% improvement in system efficiency, directly tied to his work. The conversation flipped. Suddenly, the manager was talking about promotions. Why? Because the object in the room controls the narrative. Psychologically, humans focus on what's tangible. Abstract criticism is easy to make. Concrete evidence is hard to ignore. Machiavelli knew this. He didn't argue his innocence. He didn't counter accusations. He placed proof of value in the center and let it speak. Machiavelli said, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions." The immediate need in that room? A solution to political chaos. And Machiavelli's manuscript was exactly that. Practical application. In any high-stakes situation, bring a physical or visual anchor, a report, a prototype, a case study, something that shifts attention from abstract judgment to tangible value. Control what they're looking at, and you control what they're thinking. That's not manipulation. That's strategic framing. I control the frame, always. Number 6, respect is a transaction, not a gift. You cannot earn what is not offered. Machiavelli didn't ask for respect. He didn't prove himself worthy. He made respect the only rational response. That's the secret. Let me tell you about a manager I observed. She was competent, kind, hard-working. Her team walked all over her. Why? Because she gave respect, freely, without requiring reciprocity. She thought respect was a virtue. It's not. It's a transaction. Contrast that with her replacement. First day. New manager. Didn't smile much. Didn't apologize. Set clear expectations. Here's what I delivered. Here's what I expect. If that doesn't work for you, let me know now. Instant respect. Why? Because she made it clear. Respect me or lose access to what I provide. Psychologically, people value what costs them something. Free respect is worthless respect. Machiavelli wrote, "Men have less scruple in offending one who makes himself loved than one who makes himself feared." Why? Because love is optional. Fear is strategic. When Machiavelli placed that manuscript on the table, he wasn't asking to be liked. He was communicating, "You need this, and you only get it if you respect me." That's leverage. Practical application. Stop giving respect to people who don't reciprocate. Stop bending to those who dismiss you. Make your time, your insight, your energy conditional. If they don't value it, withdraw it. And watch how quickly they adjust. Because people don't respect saints. They respect scarcity. And the moment you become scarce, they start chasing. That's not cruelty. That's self-preservation. Number 7, the power move is always nonverbal. Words are negotiable. Presence is not. Machiavelli didn't give a speech. He didn't argue. He didn't explain. He acted. And action bypasses debate. Here's the final story. I once watched 2 executives compete for the same role. One spent 30 minutes explaining why she deserved it. The other walked in, handed the CEO a 1-page strategic plan, and said, "This is what I'll execute in 90 days. Let me know if you want it done." She got the role. Why? Because words invite objection. Action invites decision. When you talk about what you will do, people question it. When you show what you've already done, they have to respond to it. Machiavelli understood this at a molecular level. That manuscript wasn't a pitch. It was proof, and proof is undeniable. Psychologically, this taps into what's called authority bias. People defer to those who act with certainty, even if they don't fully understand the action. Machiavelli wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. You are judged by what you produce, not what you promise. Practical application. Stop asking for permission. Stop pitching endlessly. Produce something, build something, deliver something, and then present it. Make the value so obvious that refusing you becomes irrational, because respect isn't given to those who ask. It's given to those who make asking unnecessary, and the moment you stop needing their approval, they start needing yours. So let's bring it all together. Machiavelli walked into a room of enemies, men who wanted him exiled, forgotten, erased. He didn't beg, he didn't explain, he didn't defend. He placed his power, in tangible form, on the table, and in 5 seconds, he transformed from prisoner to asset, from invisible to indispensable. That's not luck, that's psychological warfare. Here's what you need to understand. Respect isn't about being good. It's about being necessary. It's not about being liked. It's about being irreplaceable. And the people who command it don't ask for it. They structure reality so that respect is the only option. Machiavelli once said, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You need leverage. And leverage comes from one thing, making yourself the solution to a problem they can't ignore. So here's your choice. Old way. Walk into rooms hoping they'll see your value. Explain yourself endlessly. Wait for respect to be given. New way. Walk in with proof. Let silence do the work. Make respect the only rational response. Most people will stay in the old way. They'll keep hoping, keep explaining, keep waiting, and they'll keep being overlooked. But you're going to do what Machiavelli did. You're going to make them need you. I am indispensable, not optional. If this changes how you see power, if you're ready to stop being dismissed and start being respected, then click below and dive deeper into the psychology that Machiavelli mastered. Because the weak wait for respect. The strong command it. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to teach rulers. He wrote it to teach us, to show us that power isn't born, it's built, one calculated move at a time. The move that changes everything. Machiavelli knew something most never learn. You don't win people over through friendship. You win them through fear, not terror, not violence, but the kind of fear that makes them think twice before crossing you, the kind that makes loyalty inevitable. Because when people fear the consequences of betrayal more than they desire freedom, they become your greatest allies. That's the game. Power isn't about being loved. It's about being necessary. Stay sharp.